do have a question for each of you before we close out. We have just a couple of minutes remaining for that, but I want to give our attendees the next word you need for those continuing education credits. That word is contract, C-O-N-T-R-A-C-T, contract. So I know we only have a couple of minutes here remaining, but I do want to try to get a question in from each of you. If we could, an attendee asking us if you could just very clearly, maybe both of you, Stephen, we'll start with you, and then Kirk, they want to know if you can explain more clearly the difference between a statutory claim, such as a violation Consumer Fraud Act, and an ordinary fraud claim. If you could just distinguish between that.
Okay, sure. First of all, if it's a statutory claim, you're going to have to follow the requirements or the elements of the statute. And that is typically spelled out, varies from state to state. As I indicated, in New Jersey, you're dealing with what they call an unconscionable commercial practice or a violation of a consumer regulation, certain consumer regulations. Those will give rise to a claim under the Consumer Fraud Act. It's got to be more egregious than what you'd have as a garden variety breach of contract claim. I have seen condominium developments, for example, that are riddled with construction defects that, you'd say, well, isn't that a contract claim? But because it's so pervasive, it could be the basis of a Consumer Fraud Act claim. That these consumers were sold a bill of goods. They were sold in the marketing materials on a first-class condominium development with requiring very little by way of maintenance and things of that nature, and that's not what they got. So that's the difference, really. You're dealing with, one is your common law standards, and the other is you're dealing with a higher burden as set forth in the particular statute.
Kirk, do you have any thoughts on that before we move on?
No, I agree with what Stephen said. It's really going to depend on the specific facts of each case, but I agree with what he said.